All right. Hey, folks, what is going on? We're going to do some game design tonight. Let's drop that away. What's going on, all? My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And I create content for Dungeons & Dragons 5.5. Currently, we are creating Strixclasses, which was a term that was out during the Strixhaven Unearthed Arcana playtesting content from Wizards of the Coast back in like 2023, where they were proposing prestige class style class options. I'm going to fix my camera there real quick. There we go. It's a little bit better. Like that. That should do good. All right. Very good. And yeah, there were prestige subclasses that multiple classes could take. And it was complicated, so they got rid of it. So we are codifying the Strixclassing system so that multiple character, like all character classes, can take the subclasses that we are designing, and we are theming these subclasses off of Magic the Gathering cards. So this is I think our fifth session. We finished out White, and from White we grabbed. I'll grab this as a separate folder, I think. Yeah, we're looking good. Yeah, so we ended up pulling somewhere around 40 different class feature options out of White. I don't know how redundant. I mean, there's only so many mechanics in MTG. Hey, what's up, Steve? It's good to see you, my guy. There's only so many mechanics in MTG, so we may find a number of these things have already been, like, things that we run across in Blue, we might find already existing in White. But I'm not trying to curate the list right now. I'm just trying to add options from what Blue provides. The way the system works, for those that aren't indoctrinated, is we work on a 4-tier system where subclasses are gained typically around level 3, 6, 10, and 14. The fighter is the only class that has 5 subclasses at 3, 7, 10, 15, and then 18. The Bard and Cleric are the only 2 classes that have 3 subclass tiers, 3, 6, and 14 for the Bard, 3, 6, 17 for the Cleric, and the Paladin is the only class that gets a subclass option at level 20. So there's a little disconnection between how classes scale. The way that we solved that was by allowing us to take multiple subclasses. By default, you take subclasses like normal, and then when you get to your epic boon at level 19, you could choose to pick up another path, like another subclass if you wanted, instead of an epic boon. And in the case of the Paladin, they could pick up their 20th level aura at their epic boon level 19, and then either get their epic boon at 20 or start a new Paladin subclass, first tier, like a level 3 subclass at 20th level. So a typical class like Artificer or Fighter or Druid, it'd be first subclass, tier 1, 2, 3, 4. You're now done with your subclass. Epic boons come in at 19. You don't like any of the epic boons. Why don't you take, like, if you start off like as a Druid of the Land, at level 20, you can now take the first tier level 3 option for Druid of like Circle of the Moon, for instance. And yeah, so if you have like in the case of the Fighter that has 5 slots for epic boons, but if we gave them a subclass that only had 4 tiers, they now have an open slot. They could then take either a second epic boon, like they could have 2 epic boons, one at 18 and one at 19, or they could start a separate new subclass, so they could get 4 levels of like whatever the Strix class is, like the blue class, and then they'd have 2 levels open that they could take either a fighter class with or another. It has that float, so those epic boons and those like those misalignments. Like, for example, a Bard and Cleric typically only get 3 subclasses, but if you wanted to sacrifice your 10th level character feature for Bards, that's access to all 3 spell lists, so probably not going to bother. Probably going to keep the spells instead of the subclass option. But in the case of the Cleric, the minor divine intervention is basically pick a 5th level spell and then cast it. Any standard action 5th level spell, you can now cast that for free once per day. Maybe that's worth maybe that's better than a third tier subclass feature. Maybe it isn't. So, but we give you the option of replacing those with a third tier subclass option. And if you don't want to give it up, again, we have the epic boon. So if I have a 4-tier subclass that we create, like say I have a Rakdos Bard, and we create a Rakdos subclass based off of red and black mana abilities, then the Bard would be able to pick up the first tier, second tier, third tier, and then fourth tier with their epic boon at level 19. So, and we're opening it up even more so, like you could start multiple paths. In the case of like gaining spells, that would be like you already gained, like for example, if I started one subclass here and then I wanted to start a completely different subclass here, if I'm a spellcasting class, I'm always going to be able to get 2 spells. You get 4 spells at 3rd level, and then you get 2 spells and 2 spells and 2 spells and 2 spells. I think what we would work out is like pick 2 spells from the first tier list, and then you get the 2 spells here, and then you get the 2 spells here, and then you get the 2 spells here, and then you pick up another subclass, pick 2 of the spells off of that subclass casting list that you want, and you can get those 2 along with the 3rd level feature. So I think that's how it's panning out, and so to that note, we have to have subclass options that all classes can use. So in many previous episodes of design streams at Not Like This, we developed the color mana and the martial power system so that every single class in D&D has a mana pool that works the same way for all of the classes. That multi-class smoothly by just adding the points together, depending on the level you have with different classes, and all the multi-classing with spellcasting level and the power levels, that all scales very smoothly, so you can build very dynamic, interesting characters that are continuing to build their mana pool and continuing to be able to upcast, even though they're limited in what level spells or powers they can prepare as normal. But this allows for very smooth multi-classing, because this document, which is linked down below, reconfigures every character class to have a mana pool, either kind of like a monk's focus points, or like a subclass, like the spellcasting option in the player's handbook, or in DMG 2014. But we replaced it with a simple mana system, which is 1 point per spell level. A first level spell costs 1 mana. A 9th level spell costs 9 mana. Easy peasy. The marshals and half-casters work off of a short rest mana like the monk does. So you gain 1 mana per level, up to 20 mana at 20th level. Whenever you finish a short rest, you get all of your mana back. The martial power system allows us to sacrifice action economy during combat to generate temporary mana, to kind of like wind up some magic during your turn. Like you can sacrifice your bonus action to generate a point of mana that you can use before the beginning of your next turn. You can sacrifice your reaction to generate mana to use before the beginning of your next turn. And other like attack actions. The more attacks you have in the attack action, each attack can be sacrificed for an additional point of mana. So like you could, like a 5th level fighter could sacrifice their reaction, bonus action, and one of their attacks to get 3 mana to use during, like, say, the one attack they leave left over. Or maybe more logically, I make an attack, I hit, I'm now going to sack my other attack, my bonus action, and my reaction to gain 3 points of mana for free to just dump into that one attack. And like you can sequence these things in these different ways. And so that makes action economy really loose during combat, that like if you don't want to do a lot of stuff, but what you do, you want to impact, you can just dump all your action economy to generate a lot of mana to do a big thing. So that's the idea. All the classes utilize this mana system. We have done a lot of work in those books. They're already published on the DMsGuild with free previews. Right here, the MTG Color Mana Spell Point Variant Rule System. God bless everyone that's been buying these things. They're gold status. So, and they all have 100% free preview. So I can click down here into the core mechanics, and you can pop open the preview, and it'll spit the full 75-page document out at you. Here you go. You can read it at your leisure, looking at like the different mana pools that different level characters get, and like how the class features are affected, spell colors, stuff like that is all. It's all in here. So be welcome to check that out. This is one of 6 books in the color mana system that we have developed. A lot of them are pay what you want. So Go ahead and check them all out. They all have free previews, but this is the underlying physics behind replacing the 8 schools of magic with the 5 color mana system and replacing spell slots from the player's handbook with the simplified 1-to-1 point ratio. And then with color mana, when you say if you want to cast Counterspell and that's a 3rd level spell and it's blue, you're going to spend 3 mana. And if you're using a strict version of magic, you could either just leave that a pile of mana and say I cast a blue spell and there you go, or you could be strict and assign or devote each point of mana to a specific color. So I'm going to throw 3 mana into this counter spell, and one of those mana has to be blue. If I'm out of blue mana but still have 40 points of white and black left over, too bad. I can't cast counter spell because I'm out of blue mana. I could take a short rest, and when I do, I could devote any amount of mana in my mana pool to a new color, so that I can make my color flexible. But it creates an extra gear of optimization of how accurately can I guess how much color mana do I need in my mana pool to cast all the spells that I expect I'm going to want to cast during the day. That adds that first edition AD&D vibe back to the game, where choosing, you had to choose specifically what spells you wanted to cast. And 5th edition did away with all that. You have a list of spells you have prepared, and then you have a list of spells that you can cast. And that list of spells that you cast can be any of the spells that you prepared of an equal or lower level. So the mana system that we have here leaves you with that flexibility to prepare any number of spells that you want. But each of those spells is going to be devoted to one or more colors. So if you want to cast that spell, you need to make sure you have that color mana available to spend, and when you run out of that color, you cut off all those spells. So it becomes a balancing act, and honestly a pretty fun resource management game of how accurately can I predict what color mana do I need, or will I need to take a short rest to correct and have the right amount of mana and the colors that I need to proceed. So it's like I said, it's a fun little mini game that you can play, but you don't have to. It's just an option for making spellcasting have that added level of complexity that some people really enjoy fiddling with those kind of dials. I do. I think it's super cool. So I like using color mana and assigning all my mana to a specific color, and seeing what I can do to manipulate the pool, the spells I have prepared to only need 1 or 2 colors. So I don't have my mana pool stretched across 3, 4, or 5 colors. I want to see what I can do to make my character work the way that I want to inside of, say, 2 colors. If I want to play that Rakdos Bard, I'm either going to learn all black and red spells, or I'm going to spend time doing research to convert, say, white and blue spells into black and red. So I'll have the same list of versatility on my prepared list, and limit and have spent the time in character to reduce the amount of mana that I actually need in my pool, so I can be more faithful to my Rakdos devotion as a Rakdos Bard, for instance. So that's the narrative that goes on behind it. And establishing that means that when we create these Strixhaven class features, they can all be framed around the idea of when I spend X amount of mana. And we know that on the half casting scale, that's the lowest progression that we use. So that means that each tier, 3, 6, 10, 14, is typically going to be aligned with I can spend 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, or 4 points of mana at a time. And even if you're using a full caster with one of these Strixclasses, even though say at 14th level I can sling around a 7th level spell, the class features will still be spend 4 mana and you can do this thing. Or it'll be spend mana up to your maximum spell level, and for each point of mana that you spend, do this thing. That's the way that we can do that. But if we curve it around 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point cost, it's going to be within reach of all the classes in the game at the level that we gain them. So it makes it really easy for us to... excuse me, my nose is itchy. Makes it really easy to design around a white identity, a blue identity, etc. Like Rakdos being black and red. We'll have a black and red list, and then we can take a look at what those lists are and then blend them together to create how does Rakdos specifically look at black and red? and build that out into a Rakdos subclass. And then from there, we can go like a Rakdos. What's one of the the word I'm looking for is, oh, there it is. Rakdos ringleader, like somebody that actually leads one of the carnival circuses. That could be a specific subclass that uses black-red ideas to, I don't know, give bonuses to allies or something like that, because they're kind of like a commander class. So you can make this ringleader commander class using Rakdos colors, built off of Rakdos creature cards and what they do, combined with the different effects that we find in the black and red pool. So, like I said, we've already finished white mana, so we're going to spend this session playing in blue. And there's 504 cards that have only one blue mana as they're casting. In Magic the Gathering, that's called a cantrip, where it only costs one specific colored mana. Obviously, in D&D, a cantrip doesn't require any mana, but all the cantrips still have a color identity, so we keep that in mind. But having said that, generally when we're building class features, we're going to look at the card, we're going to see what is it doing, and how would we take what it does and convert that into D&D mechanics, and that could become a potential, definitely, but a potential class feature that we will then be able to curate and look for similarities between the colors, and what are things that are neat ideas but are too mechanically clumsy to implement, or too specialized, or make sense in PvP but don't make sense when the DM is controlling a monster. Like, you don't want to attack something's mana, because for the most part, monsters don't need mana. They just do things, because they're only going to stick around for like 2 to 5 rounds and then they're dead. So like, they don't need a mana pool specifically, but we can look at, like, I manipulate your mana pool. Maybe there's a way for us to manipulate the creatures that we're fighting, even if they don't literally have a mana pool to mess around with. So we're exploring those ideas, and I suspect we're going to come to some neat conclusions. So without further ado, let's get down into our document here. We'll skip past the path of white magic and get into the path of blue magic. See, look at all these different features that we found off of cards. Some of them had duplicate effects, so we would just end up going like, what's the coolest card name? That's the one that'll stick. But we already, let's see, we're getting down here into, yeah, we're here into blue. So I'm going to bold and big, going to bold and big and bold and big. Then number 4 is bold and big. There we go. And this, anyone's welcome to tag along in looking at this list. It's read only, but it is linked down below, so you're most welcome to look at it now. And if you want to join my Discord community and hang out with me, that's linked down below as well. Let me just self-promote myself here a little bit more and say that, thanks for anyone that's checking out the channel. I really appreciate you. I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers. If you think this stuff is cool, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Now let's get into it. So, looking at class features, we generally skip monsters. So if it's a monster card, we'll skip it because we can then come back later and look at monster cards and like class feature, like the card features that each monster gets, and look at that for additional options. If we can't get a good list of blue features off of instant, enchantment, and sorcery cards, and we will then flip back around and look at monsters and see if they're offering up unique abilities that do flesh out a good list of blue. I'd like to walk out of this with at least 30 abilities. I don't know if it's going to happen or not until we get into it. So, getting into it, Abjure, 1 mana. Sacrifice a blue permanent, you counter a target spell. There's going to be like a billion counter target spells here in the blue deck. And they all basically boil down to either counter spell or dispel magic. So, there's no reason for us to have 50 different versions of the spell. Having said that, you could argue that like counter spell will counter any spell up to 3rd level because it itself is a 3rd level spell. We could throw in Abjure as a 1 mana ability to be able to like effectively downcast dispel, downcast counter spell, so that if it's a first level spell, you'll automatically be able to counter it. But anything higher than that is going to have to be an ability check, a spellcasting check. DC equals 10 plus the level of spell. And that's only useful if they're actually casting a spell. Again, there's less and less things in D&D 5.5 that are actually casting spells. It doesn't happen a lot. A lot of times it's just like monster abilities to just do something. Whether it would normally be a spell or not, it's really not identified as one. So counter spell becomes less and less useful. But what can we do? Sacrifice a blue permanent and you counter a target spell. So this has a sacrifice involved with it. Counter target spell. I don't feel like in any sense of the word that this would be a third level ability, like a first tier feature. But I do like the idea of sacrificing. So if a target creature succeeds a saving throw, you can use your reaction to force the creature to roll again, potentially turning the success into a failure. Yeah, we'll find a good name for that one. This one's Abjure. So I'm thinking like, as a reaction to failing a saving throw, you can expend one hit point die or mana, adding to re-roll the save, potentially turning a failure into success. See, that's a feature, and it's called Abjure, so that's cool. Like 28 more to go, and then we'll hit our quota. I don't think we're going to be able to do that all tonight. There's 560 cards we're going to look through. I suspect we're going to get through a slew of them, and then we're going to press pause and then come back maybe like on Thursday and continue this, and then maybe continue it even more on Thursday. It's always a big debate. There's so many different things that we're working on. It's always an argument over what thing do I actually do on stream. So when I stream on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, it could be literally anything. So if you think this stuff is cool, stick around, and I'll get back to it eventually. What is this? Advertised Desire? Threshold. Enchanted creatures can't be the target of spells or abilities. You have Threshold as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. Huh. Threshold sounds cool. Enchanted creature has flying. We could do something like second tier. I'm not sure what we're going to call this, but I think we're going to find something, and it would be when you expend 2 mana, you can, let's word it this way. You can expend 2 mana to gain a fly speed equal to your movement. If you end your turn, if your turn ends and you are not on a surface that can support you, you gain the benefits of the Feather Fall spell. So you'll always safely land. You'll spend 2 mana to gain flight for the turn, and then at the end of your turn, if you aren't on solid ground, you get Feather Fall and then softly land. Spend 2 mana to gain a fly speed equal to your movement until the beginning of your next until the end of your turn. Until the end of the current turn. So you could turn this on. You gain a flight speed equal to your movement until the end of this turn. Until the end of this turn. Till the end of this turn. That's important because there are many abilities and spell-like effects that allow you to take movement, mostly maneuvers and features, but abilities that let you move as a reaction. So if you're moving and it's not your turn, you have I don't know, like repositioning or like a battle master feature that like coordinated dash, I think is what the maneuver is called, that lets you pick an ally and then they can use their reaction to move half their speed. Well, if you click this on, they could then that move speed could be flight. Let's do it. Since it costs 2 mana, that's expensive. You can expend 2 mana to gain a fly speed equal to twice your move speed until the end of your turn. There you go. That feels good. So if I could move normally 15 feet when I get targeted with a coordinated dash reaction, I take the reaction, I pop 2 mana, I can now move, say if my normal speed would be 30, half of that would be 15, times 2, that's going to be 30 feet that I can move as a reaction. There you go. And it can be flight. So I like that. I think that's going to end up nice if the turn ends and you are not on a solid surface. And then we'll just put that there like that. So there you go. That will be a feature. I bet something like spring or jump or something like that. But jump's a spell, right? So we'll find it. But I like that. Now let's look at threshold again real quick. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. You have threshold as long as 7 or more cards are in your graveyard. That would normally be when you're putting cards in the graveyard, that's similar to having expended mana, because in MTG as a card game, you tap the mana and then at the beginning of your next turn you untap all of your mana. It's kind of like each turn in Magic the Gathering is like a long rest in DnD, where you cast as many spells as you can with the mana that you have, and then when you finish your long rest, you get your mana back the next day. So a turn in MTG is kind of like having a day of adventure. So it's got that same sort of vibe. But there's also no graveyard to dump cards into in D&D. So a good way of representing or translating the idea of cards in your graveyard can be amount of mana expended, but it could also be however many how many levels of spell you're maintaining concentration on. So this could be for example, enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities while they are maintaining concentration on on 4 or more mana. So that would mean that you would have a concentration saving throw of 14, but you can't be targeted by spells. And then this says abilities here. That would basically be you can't be targeted by any spell or ability that uses the magic action, for example. That wouldn't be bad, but you have to maintain concentration on blank. And that feels like a 14th level feature. So, so that'd be 4 mana. So let's go to Threshold. Let's call it Threshold. We'll go with this for now. And again, it might not survive scrutiny down the road, but for now, it's just filling quota of getting ideas on the board. Threshold. While you are sustaining 4 or more mana, you can't be targeted. You can't be the only target of. You can't be. Let's word it like this. You can't be the target. You can't be targeted by any spell or ability that uses the magic action. This doesn't prevent you from being affected by an area of effect, ability, or spell. There you go. So threshold. And again, 4th tier typically comes in somewhere between 14th and 20th levels. So that's not so bad. And maintaining a 4th level spell, that means that in the MTG system that we have, the color mana spell point variant rules, one of the variant rule options is you can maintain concentration on multiple spells, but when you do, the concentration DC of them stack up. The number of spells that you can have concentration on, the total mana for those spells cannot exceed your maximum spell level. So like a 14th level wizard could maintain concentration on up to 7 levels of spells at the same time. Whether it's a 7th level spell, a 3rd and 4th level spell, or 7 first level spells, it doesn't matter. But the DC will ratchet up from 10 for a cantrip, plus 1 for every point of mana that's been tapped to maintain concentration. So if I have, as a 14th level wizard, 7 mana worth of spells that I'm maintaining concentration on, anytime I have to make a concentration check, it's going to be at minimum a DC 17. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, because typically you only do concentration saving throws to maintain concentration. A Constitution saving throw when you take damage, which is typically going to be half the damage or DC 10. In this system, it's going to be half damage or DC 17, whichever is higher, assuming that I'm maintaining like a 7th level spell or 7 levels worth of spells. But it's worse than that, because anytime you get targeted with a saving throw, if somebody tries to trip you, grapple you, hit you with a hold person spell, anytime you have to make a saving throw, you make the saving throw like usual, but if the result is lower than your concentration DC, even if you succeed the saving throw, you have still lost concentration. Like, you could try to trip me with a DC 13, but I'm maintaining a 7th level spell. So if you try to trip me, I make my strength saving throw, I roll a 14, I won't get tripped. I'll stay on my feet, but I'm going to lose my spell. So that's one of the actually really fun balancing factors with mana pools. The big complaint against mana is that it's so flexible, it lets you spam out spells. One of the solutions to that is to make magic fragile. And the best way to make magic fragile is to force shitloads of high saving throws to maintain concentration on your spells. It's kind of like how Shadow Dark and Dungeon Crawl Classics makes you basically make a casting check. And if you fail the casting check, this is the last time you can cast that spell until you finish a long rest. With this system, you can cast spells as long as you have mana, but the concentration save is vicious, so that you are forced to spend more mana to keep something up and running. Like, you can spam out a bunch of instant spells, that's cool, because if that's how you want to use your action during combat, great, you're helping the team. But like, if you want to put, say, freedom of movement on 2 of your allies, and as a 15th level wizard you can do that, great, but now you're sporting 8 levels worth of mana that you're now maintaining concentration on, and anything that you would need to have freedom of movement from is probably going to force you to make a saving throw. So if you fail your saving throw, it dumps the spell and now you have to cast it again. So it's basically a mana tax. For being a high level wizard, you are going to have a shitload of spell points to spend, but you're going to have to frequently recast these spells because you're going to lose concentration on them often, unless you change your character's routine to be a blaster or a utility character that doesn't need to maintain concentration on the spells that they're using. So it's a really fun balancing act, and I ran 3 campaigns from level 1 to 20 with it as a DM over the past 8 years, and it works really well. It's another level of mechanical tactics and complexity that people that like looking at combat as a puzzle to solve, it scratches a very creative itch inside their head. All right, I digress. Okay, so monster cards we skip, and this one is aerial formations. So what do? Strive. Aerial formations costs 3 mana more to cast for each target beyond the first. Any number of target creatures
Each get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. So end of turn could be a long rest because, again, a turn is basically a day in the world of MTG. Strive. So it's 1 mana for the first, and then for each one that's affected after that, it's another 3 mana. That's basically upcasting the fly spell to target like 3 mana to cast fly, and then like an extra mana for each additional character that you give fly. Like that's kind of what this Strive effect is doing. I don't see a high value in making Strive its own mechanic because it's just upcasting. So that's not a thing. Any number of target creatures each get +1/+1 and gain flying. Nah, I don't think there's anything really to that one. I can skip that one safely. It doesn't introduce anything new that I think is worthy of becoming a class feature. Aethertide. Thank you. Choose and discard X creature cards. Return X target creature cards to their owner's hand. It's kind of like a blink effect, so I'm going to skip that. Futurist operative. We skip creature cards. Creature card. Air Bladder. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature has flying. Enchanted creature can block only creatures with flying. Weird. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm going to skip that. I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Oh, well. Alchemist's Retrieval. Cleave. You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. If you do, remove the word in squares. Return target non-land permanent to its owner hand. Or for the lesser cost is land that I control. Alchemist's Retrieval. You may cast this spell for its cleave cost. Return target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. Alchemist's Retrieval. That makes me feel like target non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. So that means it's on the board, and you're taking it off the board and you're putting it back in their hand. So you're basically re-prepping a spell, which is like a mana refund. Mana is often either hit dice that are expended or your actual spell points in your mana pool. For like the Barbarian, that's the same thing. So would that be like for each point? Oh, that's not a very blue feature, but it is interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and you don't know what I'm thinking about, but I'm going to drop down here into green, and I'm going to go with this. I don't know if it's a first tier feature or not, and I don't know what it's going to be called, but I suspect something that comes along could be as a bonus action, you can expend a number of mana up to your proficiency bonus and regain a number of and regain an equal number of hit point dice up to your maximum hit HP die total. So like in this one, you can swap out mana for hit dice, which often doesn't make sense because like a cure wound spell typically heals 2d8 plus your wisdom modifier or your spellcasting modifier, whatever. That's generally more efficient than expending hit dice, but maybe you have a reason you want to spend a hit dice. So it's an option, which will probably lean into other features that work on expending hit dice. So like this would be like in green and black, I could see like expend this hit die, do this thing. Not your mana pool, hit dice. So this green rejuvenation of I'm going to spend mana to get hit dice back, and I can expend my hit dice to do these things. It's kind of like meta currency in video games, but it is meta currency, and we're creating a means for you to get access to that meta currency. Everyone has hit dice, And in this system, everyone has mana. So if you can make hit dice and mana be the same thing, then that's basically doubling the amount of mana that you have on a daily basis. You know, if you got 1 mana per day, this is going to basically double that. So we get mana per short rest, or we get like 2 to 4 mana per day, depending on the level of a full caster. Anyway, I like that idea. Ancestral Recall, target player draws 3 cards. Boy, oh boy. There's a lot of different drawing card abilities, and generally that comes down to gaining advantage on stuff. So Ancestral Recall, let's go with it. So let's just play the game. Pact of Blue Magic, first tier mana. Ancestral Recall. When you make an ability check, you can expend 1 mana to gain advantage on the check and add 1d4 to the result. One mana to add 1d4 to the result. The die increases to 1d6 at 9th level and 1d8 at 17th level. Yep, not bad. It's worse than everything else, but it's reliable. Bleh. Like a good green and black feature would be like whenever some like you can expend hit dice as though they were mana. Period. There you go. Super easy. Ancestral Vision. What are you all about? Suspend 4. Rather than cast this card from your hand, pay 1 blue and exile it with 4 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When the last is removed, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Ancestral Vision, no mana cost. Suspend. Target player draws 3 cards. Huh. Like you can reduce the cost of casting this spell by delaying its casting by 1 round per mana. So if I wanted to cast a fireball for 1 mana, I could delay. I could suspend the spell, and by maintaining concentration for 2 rounds, reduce the cost of the fireball from 3 down to 1. If my concentration gets broken along the way, the suspended spell is ruined, and it doesn't require any mana. This would be something that I would only be able to use in combat, because you can't just walk around and charge up 9 rounds worth of spell and then cast Wish for free. Basically, that just doesn't jive. But I like this idea though. Suspend sounds like a third. Honestly, it sounds like a 3rd tier feature to me. So let's put it on the board and just see how it hangs. Suspend. During combat, you can reduce the cost of casting a spell by 1 mana per round, you delay casting a spell. You delay casting the spell while the spell is suspended. This way, you must maintain concentration until you choose to cast it during your turn. Let's see. During combat, you can reduce the cost of casting a spell by 1 mana per round. You delay casting the spell. While the spell is suspended this way, you must maintain concentration until you choose to cast it during your turn. If your concentration is broken before the spell is cast, it is wasted, but no mana is expended. So this would let you potentially, if you're out of mana, or like down to 1 mana, or even 0 mana, power up. Like if I need to cast a 3rd level spell, only in combat where I'm likely to get attacked and lose concentration can I do this. I can't just casually do it. This is why we're defining it as during combat. The Ranger has during combat abilities. I think Barbarian has some during combat abilities. It's not unique. It's sparing. It's rare, but it's not unique. So I'm not inventing anything with that idea. I'm just leaning into a mechanic that isn't often used, which honestly should be used more often. During combat, you can change the entire physics of your game changes during combat versus exploration or social encounters. So why not lean into that difference? But I like it. Suspend. That works. Annul. 1 mana. Counter a spell or target. Big surprise. An offer you can't refuse. Counter target spell. And get 2 treasure tokens. Sure. Apathy. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap phase. During the upkeep of enchanted creature's controller, that player must discard a card at random to untap that creature. Okay. Apathy, I like that. Apathy sounds really good. Also sounds like a 2nd tier feature. So let's get into apathy. Apathy. Target a creature within 60 feet. If the save fails, a target creature within 60 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw. If the save fails, the creature it'd just be another incapacitated spell effect. I don't like that. Target a creature within 60 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw. Target a creature as a magic action. You can target a creature within 60 feet of you to make a wisdom saving throw. If the save fails, the creature the creature doesn't take any action during its turn or use its reaction. At the end of its turn, it can make another saving throw, ending the effect with a success. Whatever, that's horrible language. As a magic action, you can target a creature if the save fails. The creature doesn't take any actions during its turn or use its reactions for 1 minute. At the end of each, at the end of its turns, at the end of each of its turns, it can make another saving throw, ending the effect early with a success. We already have Hold Person, which paralyzes for basically the same thing. But it's not, this isn't a condition. You just stop doing shit. So as a magic action, you can expend 2 blue mana to target a creature. Yeah, this isn't any kind of condition that you can resist or have immunity to. It just turns you off for a little while. Let's do this. Creatures immune to the charm condition save with advantage. And then, if the save fails, I like that. I like that a lot. Apathy, good job. Aqueous Form. Enchanted creature can't be blocked. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, scry 1. Look at the top card of your library. Oh, that's just fucking cool. Okay, Aqueous Form it is. Where do we want to drop this? Let's put it in the first tier for now, but it honestly might be higher value than that. So let's go with Aqueous Form. Let's see. Your body becomes amorphous. You are able to fit through openings 1 inch in size, and you take half damage, and you reduce the damage you take from falling by half, and you take half damage from falling. You are able to fit through openings 1 inch in size, and you take half damage from falling. In addition, you can take the dodge action. You can take the dodge action as a reaction. That's horrible language, but that's how 5e works. In addition, you can take the dodge action as a reaction to taking damage, as a reaction to being attacked by, from a source you can see. Imposing disadvantage on the attack, potentially, imposing disadvantages on the attack. Anything else? Your body becomes amorphous. You are able to fit through openings 1 inch in size, and you take half damage from falling. In addition, you can take the dodge action as a reaction to being attacked from a source you can see, imposing disadvantages on the attack. On all attacks until the beginning of your next turn, including the triggering attack. That's pretty good. That's actually a really good feature. It's a zero cost feature, and that's not broken. Your body becomes amorphous. You are able to fit through openings 1 inch in size, and you take half damage from falling. Let's do it like this. Your body becomes amorphous like liquid. You take half damage from falling, and during your turn, you can expend 1 blue mana to fit through an opening Your body becomes amorphous like liquid. You take half damage from falling, and during your turn, you can expend 1 blue mana to fit through an opening 1 inch in size. If you are if you are unable to occupy, if you there we go. One blue mana to fit through an opening in 1 inch size. If you end your turn in a space, if you end your turn in without I want to word it like you can have this small shape, but if you end your turn and you haven't returned to your normal shape, by the end of your turn, you'll take damage and you get pushed back to the last square you occupied. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Your body becomes amorphous like liquid. You take half damage from falling, and during your turn, you can expend 1 blue mana to pour through to move through to and during your turn you can expend 1 blue mana to move through a space with an opening of 1 inch in size. If you end your turn in a space that too small, in a space too small for you to occupy, you are forced back to the last space that you can. You take 1 hit point die of damage, and you are forced back to the last space that you occupied. There. That's still horrible language, but we'll find better. In addition, you can take it. Basically, it doesn't let you in. Like you can spend a mana to squeeze through a space. That's it. To squeeze you can squeeze through a space. To squeeze through an opening. One inch in size. 1 inch or larger in size. If you end your turn in a space too small for you to occupy normally, there. You take 1 hit point. You take 1 hit point die of damage, and you are forced back to the last space that you occupied. Yeah, that feels good. I like that. A little wordy, but it's coming through. Aquitect's Will. I skip proper nouns. Arcane Flight. Enchanted creature has flight and gets +1/+1. It's so cute. We already have the fly spell, and we already have the... oh, wait. Arcane Flight. That's too close to fly. We'll find something similar, but that's not the one. Artful Dodge. Target creature is unblockable this turn. Flashback 1. You can cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, which is 1 mana. It's also 1 mana here. Target creature is unblockable. Those who know the alleys and sewers of Earthwall can disappear like smoke. Artful Dodge. God, that's a cool title. Sure. Let's go to Artful Dodge. You can expend 1 mana to take the dodge action as a bonus. You can use your bonus action to expend 1 blue mana and use the dodge action. It's not a great deal, but a wizard has a shitload of mana, and this gives you dodge as a bonus action. That could actually be really handy. And like around 2nd tier, when you got about 16 mana per day, it's not bad. It's actually not a bad cost. You've got the budget for it. You can kind of make. I'm seeing some gishy shit going on here in blue. I did not expect that. There's a lot of gishiness happening here. I'm kind of excited about that. Let's see where it takes us. Artificer's Assistant is a creature card we skip. What the hell does that say? Artificial Evolution. Thank you. Change the text of target spell or permanent by replacing all instances of one creature type with another. The new creature type can't be legend or wall. That's really cool. That's a great card. I'm thinking like, we had a conversation on my morning stream, and I want to say it was either today or it was Saturday. But the question was, and I think it came from Rel's Cool. The question was, what's your opinion about like animal friendship, for instance? If a druid is wild shaped and you cast animal friendship on them, what do you think happens? And at the time, I thought, well, you're still your creature type, so you can't target the druid with animal friendship. But that's not true. You can. When you wild shape or polymorph or shape change or any shapeshift ability, you adopt the stats from that creature. So you do become like, if I wild shape into a ferret, I am a beast. With my own, like, a high intelligence, but I'm still a beast. Actually, I think that's the kicker.
Hold on real quick. I'm now on a mechanical tangent. It must be satisfied. Let's go with animal friendship. I bet animal friendship has a maximum intelligence of 2. Like if your intelligence is higher, that doesn't work. I bet that's how it works. Let's find out if I'm true. Target must succeed a wisdom saving throw or have the charm condition for the duration. If you or one of your allies deals damage to the target, the spell ends. No shit. Okay, so, wow. Yeah, you can effectively target a wild-shaped druid with animal friendship, and they won't attack you for the rest of the day, assuming that they failed their wisdom saving throw. Man, that's nasty. I like that. Okay, so, God, this is such a meta idea. Hold on. I don't know what you're doing over there, buddy. Artificial evolution. Change the text of target spell or permanent by replacing all instances of one creature type with another. God, it's such a cheeky fucking ability. Okay, let's do it. Artificial evolution. As a magic action, you can expend 1 blue mana and target a creature you can see within 60 feet. For the next 10 minutes, that creature, you can change the creature type of the target to any other creature type. For example, you can change a zombies type from undead to beast, or you can change a dragon or you can change a chimera's type from monstrosity to humanoid. There you go. So, actually, let's do it like this. From undead to beast. To plant. Or you could change the chimera's type from monstrosity to beast. So I could hit you with artificial evolution, and then I could target the chimera with animal friendship, and now it will consider me to be friendly for the rest of the day. That makes Charm Animal incredibly fucking good. So I think that can't be a first. I think that's a 3rd tier feature, honestly. Like, mix that in with druidic shit or like a bard enchantment character. That's that could be potentially a lot of fun. I did not anticipate such tomfuckery coming out of blue like this. I'm actually kind of excited. I need more water. I'm going to be right back, guys. This is fun. I love doing these things, man. You're so fucking cool.
I tell you what, this sounds like a Simic card feature to me. Like, that sounds... Artificial Evolution, that sounds so Simic, it's crazy. Let's go with... This is crazy good Simic blue-green vibe. Just going to put that in bold there real quick. Just as again, the idea here is to extract all these features from the colors to make mono-color subclass options, and then to take combinations like we were talking about Rakdos earlier. Simic is blue-green. Like a blue-green Simic Druid picking this up as a feature. Oh, get the fuck out of here. That Druid is going to be a nightmare. How cool is that? Like, you could change a creature's type to humanoid and then hit him with Hold Person for like a really cheap hold spell. That's just cool. I love it. I love it. It basically would let Simic characters cast Hold, Charm, and Suggestion spells on everything as cheaply as they can do with humans by changing their type to humanoid and then hitting them with Charm Person or Hold Person or Suggestion or whatever. Anyway, geeking out over here, don't mind me. Ascendant Spirit, that is a creature card. We skip you. Aspirant's Ascent. Until end of turn, gain bonus. My chair's sinking. I've lost hydraulic power in my chair. Hold on. I gotta fix that. While I fix that, let me just say thanks to anybody that's checking out the channel. I really appreciate it. We do this stuff Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So if you like the vibe, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, join my Discord community down below. Check out the books that I published for MTG for D&D already. Back to it. I don't think I'm going to do anything with this one probably. Until end of turn, you get a +1/+3 and gains Flying and Toxic. Yeah, we're going to skip that. Symmetry Sage. That's a creature card. We skip it. Skip the creature cards. Atomic Microsizer. That's a technical name. Equipped creature gets +1/+0. Whenever equipped creature... Oh, it's equipment. We'll probably skip it. But it's blue. Interesting. Whenever... Choose up to one target creature. That creature can't be blocked. Okay, never mind. Aura Finesse. Ooh, attach target aura you control to target creature and draw a card. Huh. Okay, Aura Finesse. I like that. Let's go. Let's make that 4th rank. Aura Finesse. Let's see. As a magic action, you can target one creature affected by a spell or magical effect and transfer it to another creature you can see within 60 feet to be affected by the spell or effect instead. As a magic action, you can target one creature within 60 feet. Affected by a spell or magical effect, and transfer that effect, and transfer it to another creature you can see within 60 feet. And you can transfer it to another creature that you can see within 60 feet. Both targets can make a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC. If either succeed, the effect is not transferred. Either target can choose to fail this. Well, in 5th edition, all creatures can choose to fail a saving throw. If either succeed, the effect is not transferred. That feels incredibly like a blue idea to me. Hey, what's up? Hey, Francois. It's good to see you, my dude. By a spell. By a persistent spell or magical effect and transfer it to another creature you can see. There we go. Or a finesse. That's pretty fun. I like that. Aven Invoid. We skip creature cards. What time is it? 7:43. Okay, we'll probably get through this page and we'll be done for the day. Awesome presence. Enchanted creature cannot be blocked unless defending player pays an additional 3 mana for each creature assigned to block it. That's a basic ward before wards existed. So warding is a DM feature that the DM it's a monster feature that DMs can give to creatures. It's possible for so here's the thing. Since monsters don't have mana pools, giving your character a warding effect where like I have to spend 2 mana to target you with a spell effect, it doesn't really mean anything to monsters because they don't have any mana to begin with. So they don't have any mana to spend, which and the result of that is not going to be they can never attack you or they can't ever target you with a spell. That wouldn't make sense. So, but wards on creatures makes a lot of sense because with this system, every character has a mana pool. If you want to target with them with something that you're doing, I'm going to make you spend extra mana or extra hit dice or give you a poison or an exhaustion counter. There's ways that the DM can use these to manipulate what the character resources are. But again, the game is not a mirror. So what the players use, the DM doesn't necessarily make use of. Hey, what's up? Sounds like does not provoke attacks of opportunity. I will give you that, though. Awesome presence? Yeah. Yeah, I could very well see that, and that would be a low-level feature. Good call, Francois. Awesome presence. Let's do it. Good call. Okay, so if it's just permanently, you cannot be targeted with opportunity attacks. That's 4th rank. That's like level 14 plus shit. But if it's gonna be 1st level, it could be like while you are sustaining a spell. No, this is getting into constant. I was thinking like while you're maintaining concentration on a spell effect using blue mana, you can't be targeted with opportunity attacks. But marshals, like the fighter, the rogue, the martial classes don't have to maintain concentration, but they sustain powers. But sustain powers stay on literally all day. So like this would be like I never get targeted by opportunity attacks. That just feels broken. So I need to have some sort of step in between. It could be I force you to make a saving throw, and if you fail it, you can't opportunity attack me, but that just adds die rolls when we don't necessarily need them. What are you thinking? Bonus action, spin blue? That's I think that's where I'm heading to. I think that makes a lot of sense, Francois. Well, yep. Let's go with that. Let's go with As a bonus action, you can expend 1 blue mana. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 blue mana. Let's I'm thinking, hold on. As a bonus action, you can, let's do this. You can tap 1 blue mana. How do I word this? As a bonus action, you can expend 1. Nope, yeah, it's tapping. You can tap 1 blue mana to maintain concentration. While you do, you don't provoke your movement. No. While you do, you don't provoke opportunity attacks. There, by making it a concentration mana effect, it shuts down your ability to concentrate on other things. It's basically considered as a bonus action. You can tap 1 blue mana to maintain concentration as a first level spell. As a first level spell effect. While you do, you don't provoke opportunity attacks. There you go. Easy enough. It's going to eat up your resources, so you can't concentrate on as much stuff. But you get this at minimum 3rd level, so you could turn on Awesome Presence and still be maintaining concentration on a 1st level spell, but you wouldn't be able to maintain concentration on a 2nd level spell while Awesome Presence is active. Hey, what's up? This works for all classes, attacks, dodges. Yeah. And it's super fucking useful. And that sounds super blue, doesn't it? Nice find, Francois. That's a fucking good one. You have no maximum hand size. I love that. That just speaks to how many spells are in your spellbook, doesn't it, Nolan? When the class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Okay. I like that. I don't know what to call it yet, but I like the feature. So let's put some question marks on it, and it goes like this. When you expend blue mana, you can target a creature you can see within 60 feet. Attacks against that target roll with disadvantage. The next attack against that creature before the start of your next turn rolls with disadvantage. There we go. So it's just basically a kick. It's almost like the Abjurist the ward Abjur ward, I think is what it's called, for the Abjurist wizard. Like whenever you spend mana, you gain a temporary hit point shield. This is kind of like that, but anytime you spend at least 1 point of mana, next attack against target creature you see is disadvantage, including yourself. Including yourself? I like that. That's a fun ability. I don't know necessarily what to call it, but it feels like this is basically what this says to me. So, but it doesn't have an official title. So I bet we're gonna find somewhere like this could be Abjur. What was Abjur? There it is. As a reaction to failing a saving throw, you can expend. Like this feels more like Abjur than this does. So let's steal that and change its name. Wahaha. Yeah, I don't know what you're called yet. But we'll find something, I'm sure. Backfire. Backfire deals 1 damage to target creature's controller for each 1 damage dealt to you by that creature. Okay, I like Backfire. Let's make it a 2nd level feature. I think that's like around level 6 feels like a good place to have this clip in. Backfire. When you take damage from a source you can see, you can use a reaction to expend a number of resting hit dice up to your proficiency modifier. Roll the dice, and the you can use a reaction to expend a number of resting hit dice up to your proficiency modifier. Roll the dice and add the results. Roll the dice and deal that amount of damage to the source of damage. Deal that damage. This is getting horrible. When you take damage from a source that you can see, you can use a reaction to expend a number of resting hit dice up to your proficiency modifier. Roll the dice and deal that amount of damage to the target source that triggering this reaction. There we go. That's wordy. And it's using hit dice, which is universal. And that means that marshals are going to be dealing more damage on a backlash than, say, the wizard is going to do. I'm actually very happy with that. And we have that feature up here already. Ancestral. No, was that it? No. Where was it? Threshold. There we go. Nope, that wasn't it. Where the fuck did it go? I was looking for the thing that lets you convert. Oh, it wasn't Threshold. What was it? Aura Finesse? No, that changed your type. I'm looking for the thing that lets us convert mana into hit point dice. As a reaction, no. 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 You make an ability check. Oh no, that was the green ability. That was the thing that we switched to green. That's right. Yeah, you can spend a number of mana up to your proficiency bonus and regain an equal number of hit point dice. So that's in the green space. We're playing with blue. Again, that's another really... That's a good combo. Fucking A, that synergizes nicely. God, I love that combo. I'm going to definitely give that mana ability to black as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. Both green and black, being able to sacrifice mana to regain hit dice, and for black, Black sacrificing hit dice to regain mana, I think is a good ability. Green having mana becomes hit dice, and then black has hit dice become mana. I like that a lot. I'm going to go drop down into black. Like, comboing these things together makes a lot of sense. Let's go with question equals, as a bonus action, you can expend a number of hit point dice up to your proficiency modifier, and regain a number and regain an equal number of black mana. That's cool. Fuck, that's cool. All right, this shit is cool, man. We skip. Oh wait. The Bovian Shaman. Oh yeah, that's a creature card. I was gonna say I couldn't see it. I hate these colors. I can't see these colors so good. Bamboozling Beeble. That is a creature card. Skip you, thank God. Banishing Knack. Until end of turn, target creature gains tap. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Huh. Banishing Knack. Until end of turn, target creature gains tap. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. So I put this onto a creature card that I then tap, that then activates this to return another non-land creature, a non-land permanent to its owner's hand. That's generally going to be a banishing or dispelling effect. The mechanics of it are cool for MTG, but don't really resonate with D&D as listed. If most wizards in MTG are blue, shouldn't the blue spells help wizards more than marshals? No, because wizards have more mana than marshals do, and I'm okay with marshals having better hit dice. So most of these is going to lean heavily in the full caster's favor because they have stacks of mana compared to martial characters. So when it comes to deflecting damage and stuff like that using hit dice, I like that. Although there is a good argument to say that blue shouldn't be making use of hit dice. That's probably more of like a green and black sort of thing to do. But right now we're just laying in ideas, pulling out these mechanics, and we can refine them later. I don't necessarily disagree with you. It's hit dice I think should favor marshals more than casters do. So we might end up shifting that off to another color. Good question though. I don't disagree. We ignore Biomancer. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may collect Evidence 6, exile 6 cards, the total mana value of 6 or greater from your graveyard. Until end of turn, target artifact. Okay, that's going to be a no. That's too complicated. Betrayal. Play only on a creature or opponent controls. Play only on a creature and opponent controls. If enchanted creature becomes tapped, you get to draw a card. Huh. I see something there. Yeah, that would be like a blink or a banishing effect. But I don't. We have banish. We have banishing smite. We have blink. We have etherealness. These are all, and then we also have the martial powers stuff of incorporeality and then banishing effects, like target banishment effects off of the martial powers as well. I don't think I need to add more banishing cards right now. I'm really geeking on this betrayal card though. Play only on a creature card. If that creature becomes tapped, draw a card. Interesting. Let's go with Betrayal. As a bonus action, you can target a creature you can see within 60 feet. As a bonus action, you can target a creature you can see within 60 feet. For the you can target a creature you can see within 60 feet to be your what's the word I'm looking for here? To be your and for lack of a better word, your victim. For 1 minute, whenever you see your victim make an attack, you can use a reaction to target that creature with an attack or a spell that targets only one creature. If you are within reach, if it is within range, if it is within range of your attack. That's a redundant word, but for now it'll do. Or a spell that targets only one creature. You can target that creature with a spell that targets only one creature. That's horrible language, so I'm going to keep it, but I like that. I don't like necessarily the name Betrayal for it, but I like the mechanic. I'm going to get rid of the name Betrayal. I'll go blip blip blip. Better offer. No kidding. Put a random creature card with mana value X or less from the target's opponent's library onto the battlefield under your control. Huh. Skip that. Wait. Yeah. Bind the monster. Enchanted card. How many more of these do we have? Okay, we're not too far away with finishing this page. We'll finish this page and we'll call it for a day. And we'll come back. We'll come back on Thursday or maybe Saturday to continue this, depending on what we got going on. Bind the monster. Enchantment. When Bind the monster enters the battlefield, tap the enchanted creature. It deals damage to you equal to its power. Enchanted creature does not untap during its controller's untap step. Dream tempts you. Birthday escape. Okay, I see it. Bind the creature. I see it. We're gonna put it at 3rd rank. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, right space, right place. Bind the creature. When you are attacked by a creature you can see, you can make, you can expend 3 mana. You can expend 3 blue mana. When you are attacked by a creature you can see, you can use your reaction to expend 3 blue mana. Now, when you are attacked by a creature, you can use... What's up? Bind the monster. When you are hit by an attack for 10 or more damage, the attacking creature... what I was going to do is... I don't like using specific damage amounts. But the idea that I'm going with is when you are attacked by the creature, it has to make a wisdom saving throw, or it doesn't make any more attacks this turn. Or like or it takes no other action during this turn. When you are attacked by a creature you can see, you can use your reaction to expend 2 blue mana, forcing the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, it forgoes the rest of its actions this turn. If it succeeds, any remaining attacks are rolled with disadvantage. That's pretty good. Oh, bind the monster. Thank you. Birthday escape. Fuck off. No. Blitzball Stadium. What the fuck? When an artifact creature for the goal. Until... What is this from? Final Fantasy. Thank you. Huh. Blue Elemental Blast. Ooh, neat. Blue Elemental Blast. Choose one. Counter target red spell. Destroy target red permanent. Blue Elemental Blast. Huh. Okay. I'll go with it. Apparently, we're not going to have any problem at all stacking up a bunch of blue abilities. I'm honestly very surprised. Blue Elemental Blast. As a magic action, or bonus action, you can expend a number. You can expend blue mana and amount of blue mana up to your max mana limit to make a as a magic action or bonus action, you can expend an amount of blue mana up to your max mana limit to target a creature within 120 feet of you. The target makes a Constitution saving throw. Failure deals 2d8 plus your ability modifier per mana. The target makes Constitution. Failure deals 2d8 plus your ability modifier per mana. 2d8 deals 2d8 per mana expended. Deals 2d8 damage per mana expended. Let's do it this way. The target makes a Constitution saving throw. Choose one of the choose one type of damage. Worded differently. Failure deals 2d8 damage per mana expended. The type of damage can be sorry, give me a second. Let's go to the revised spell list. This list of books is right here. Click on that. It takes you to this list of books that are all bundled together for like a 40% discount. The revised color mana spell list is pay what you want. Click on the preview. Scroll down to the list of damage by color. Cold, Force, Psychic, or Thunder. Cold, Force, Psychic, or Thunder. What's up? Blue Elemental Blast. When an enemy you can see spends red mana. No, because we don't. If your target doesn't spend red mana, like what if you're fighting undead and all they have is black, like have black magic effects and don't even spend mana at all? So we have to get rid of like the characters can have color identities, but we want to avoid effects that like that would be like there's so few creatures now that actually cast spells. Like if it like counter spell isn't a very useful spell anymore unless the DM broadens the application of counter spell to work against magic effects that seem like spells as well. So if we're like this only affects red, then like if I'm in Frosthaven or whatever, I'm never going to use that because I don't have anything with red magic or like I don't have anything with red energy around me, for instance. But that's just me being picky. That is the problem with the MTG card, red and blue elemental blasts. Yeah. Well, now we have it. So you spend mana, you deal damage, which is cold, force, psychic, or thunder damage. There you go. 60 foot, and you can do it as a magic action or a bonus action, so it's always going to be useful. Type of damage, first color, if they... or half damage if they succeed. Let's do 2d6. I think that'll be better. Yeah, 2d6. It's Guiding Bolt does 46 damage with an attack roll. It should be half of that for a saving throw because it's either all or nothing for 4 dice, and with a saving throw it's half or a quarter. So, and it's Constitution, so you can't dodge it. I like that. For a second, third tier is good. Let's push that down a little bit more. Good. Let's create a space here. Good. Okay. Let's get back at it. Let's see. Yeah, blue elemental blast. I'm good with that. Blurry Beeble. Yeah, we skip creature cards. Bluster Squall. Tap target creature you don't control. Overload. You may cast this spell for its overloaded cost. If you do, change its text by replacing an instance of target with all. Weather is more predictable than is that. Yeah, no kidding. Tap target creature you don't control. Okay. Tapping a creature can be like paralyzed, stunned, incapacitated, sleep. That doesn't mean anything in MTG really, but that's massive in D&D. It means a lot more to tap a creature in D&D than it does in MTG. So I want to be mindful of that. We already have a bunch of paralyze, incapacitate, stunning strike, sleep, banish. We already have so much stuff. Blunder Squall doesn't really feel that important, but with each, tap each creature you don't control for 4 instead of 1. I'm getting kind of like Blusterous Squall feels kind of like Thunder Wave, but wind instead of thunder damage. But overall, I still think it's basically just it's basically just a Thunder Wave spell. Okay, let's do it like this. I like the idea though. Yeah. Oh, like push and prone. Bluster Squall. I like that. Push and prone feels pretty good. Let's make it second level, second ranked, so it's 6 level plus. Yeah, a lot of this stuff I completely agree with you on, man. Let's do it like this. Target a number of creatures within 60 feet of you. Target a number of creatures within 60 feet of you for each point of blue mana expended. Each must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC or be pushed 10 feet per mana expended and be knocked prone. Failure pushes the creature 10 feet per mana expended, 10 feet directly away from you per mana expended, and is knocked prone. Failure pushes the creature 10 feet directly away from you per mana expended and is knocked prone. Success knocks the creature prone. Each creature prone. That gives us that kicker effect. If I'm only going to spend 1 mana, it'll push one creature 10. It'll knock a creature prone, and if it fails, push it 10 feet as well. And of course, we use the forced movement triggers opportunity attacks. So basically, this lets us basically get repelling blast as basically just like an at-will effect. It doesn't deal any damage. It just pushes and prones you. And we have things that trigger off of pushing and being knocked prone in the Martial Powers book. So it's a really good, like this target number of creatures as a magic action or bonus action. You can target a number of creatures within 60 feet of you for each point of mana expended. Each must make a saving throw against your spell save DC. Failure pushes each creature 10 feet directly away from you per mana expended and is knocked prone. Success knocks each creature prone. There you go. So we already have a lot of effects in D&D that just automatically knock you prone. It reduces your movement by half, and until you get up, you got the advantage-disadvantage thing going on. It's a good debuff for 1 mana that doesn't require a saving throw. The saving throw is a kicker effect on top of prone, which is also what pushes you and then knocks you prone, or knocks you prone and then pushes you, whichever way you want to play it. If you knock someone prone and then push them, because order of effects on the stack, you decide what the order of operations execute first and second when you're comboing abilities together as a character. So if I knock something prone and then push it, if it slides through the range of opportunity attack for an ally and it's prone, not only will I get an opportunity attack against it, but I get to attack it with advantage on the way by because it is currently prone. So if it slides past me within 5 feet, I can attack it with advantage. Fantastic for a sneak attack rogue, quite honestly. Hey, what's up? Always push, save versus prone. That's true. That is true. Eldritch Blast automatically push. Okay, I'll go with that. I'll switch that around. I'm open to that. Failure pushes each target 10 feet directly away from you per mana expended and is knocked prone. Success pushes each creature. No, let's do it like this. Each creature... each creature is pushed 10 feet directly away from you per mana expended and must make a strength saving throw against your spell save DC. Failure knocks the creature prone. Success there, that's good enough. Hey, what's up? Knocked prone can be devastating. Yeah, I can. No, yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. We have like Eldritch, push, and I think push. Hold on, let's double check. It's been so long. Push. Yeah, push. You just push the creature 10 feet, up to 10 feet straight away from you. And Eldritch Blast pushes creatures 10 feet away from you. And that it scales up with levels. No, with each hit, it pushes them 10 feet. So we have multiple examples of push not requiring a saving throw. But we do have examples of trip requiring a saving throw. Yeah, I'm on board with you there, buddy. And that's fun. Bluster Squall, that's a cool little thing. So let's see if we can finish out our spell list for today. And then we'll continue on Boomerang Basics, Bounce Off. Hold on. Yeah, we got about 10, 12 cards left. So let's look at this. Bounce Off. Return target creature or vehicle to its owner's hand. Nah, we'll skip it. It's cute, but we'll skip Brainstorm. Classic. Draw 3 cards and put 2, and you're like, I like the idea of Brainstorm being in effect. Well, hey, Raul, what's going on? It's good to see you, my dude. Right on. Blink. I think we're gonna see multiple teleport effects coming down the line. I mean, we have 500 cards and we've gone through about 40 of them, 50 of them. So I mean, we're going to be doing this for a while. Not tonight. I'm gonna, as soon as I finish this page, I'm going to be done. But in following episodes, we'll be doing a lot of these, and I think we're going to see a lot of teleportation stuff come into effect. We already have some teleportation effects in white. White happens to be the color of banishment and teleportation in Magic the Gathering. Who knew? I learned that last year when the Forgotten Realms box set came out, and they had teleportation circle be white. And Portable Hole be white. So dimensional magic in general is white in Magic the Gathering. I did not anticipate that, but it appears to be a fact. Brainstorm is such an iconic card. There's just no real interaction. It basically, Silvery Barbs is probably the closest example of how draw a card and then discard cards kind of works. I'm gonna skip it. Breakthrough. Draw a bunch of cards. And discard a bunch. Again, we're going to see a lot of that in blue, and it doesn't really translate well over into D&D. We skip creature cards. Broken Ambition. Counter target spell unless its controller pays Clash with opponent. If you win, the spell controller puts the top 4 cards. Each clashing player reveals the top card of his or her library, then puts that card on the top or bottom. A player wins if his or her card had a higher converted mana cost. Clash with opponent. If you win, the spell's controller puts the top 4 cards of his library into his or her graveyard. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to skip that. Broken Dam. Tap into 2. Without horsemanship. Brainstorm, roll 3 times on Wild Magic table. Cast 2 of those this turn. On Wild Magic table. Cast 2 of those this turn. Oh, like have 2 Wild Magic surges? Maybe in green, maybe in red magic. Red is chaos, blue is not. So I am open to playing with the Wild Surge table when we get into chaos magic with red, but I don't think that feels blue to me. That's a great idea, by the way. Pact of Red Magic. As a magic action, you can expend 1 or more red mana. Rolling on the sorcerer, on the wild sorcerer. For each red mana. Choose one and choose one effect. Choose one result to take effect. There we go. Super generic, very red in flavor. Stacks nicely with the wild mage sorcerer. Like that. Great idea, by the way. Bruce Banner, get the fuck out of here. No one likes you, Bruce. Go home. Blue magic. Bubble snare. Kicker 2. No, kicker 3. You may pay an additional 3 to cast a spell, enchant creature. Normally 1. When bubble snare enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, tap enchanted creature. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap. This is like Otilic's Resilient Sphere. So I'm going to skip that one, but we just give you... Otilic's is 4th level, isn't it? Tell me it's 4th level, because I can just give you Otilic's Resilient Sphere. I'm fine with that. How about that? You always have the Otilic's Resilient Sphere spell prepared, and you can cast it by expending 4 blue mana without semantic or material components. even if you don't have the spellcasting feature. And you can cast it by expending 4 blue mana without somatic, not semantic. Somatic components or material components. There. Nice one. Does not require a spell slot. We don't have spell slots in the mana system. It's all mana. And we don't give you free spells in this system because you get so much mana you don't need free spells. It's a nuance, but it is an important design principle. Caller of Gales. That's a creature card we skip. Candlestick is artifact. We're skipping clues. Cute, though. Captive Weird. Creature card. We skip creatures. Careful Study. Draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards from your hand. That's more library fetch. We're going to skip that. Case of the Filth. No, we're going to skip. Oh, okay. Well, that's that. So let's skip to the next page. 61 to 120 of 504 cards. It will probably take... What time is it? Yeah, it's 8:30. I've been doing this for like about 2 hours. 2 hours per page. I could potentially come back and do some of this tomorrow at lunchtime. I don't know if I'll have the time to do that or not. But yeah, I'm gonna be focusing on this. We're gonna go through the blue card. We are stacking up a shitload of. Again, I am surprised at how many abilities we're extracting from these things. So far, we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 abilities just through B. And 4 abilities we don't... There's 4 more, actually 19. 15 have names, 4 of which don't have names yet. And we have 40 that we extracted from white. I am honestly shocked at the amount of diversity that we are extracting. No, that's not 40. It's more like... No, Jesus Christ, maybe it is 40. Fuck me. Jesus, yeah. There's a lot. I mean, we only need like 4 or 5 per subclass. And we've got like 80 so far. This is going to fuel so many things. Okay, so we have monocolors like white, blue, red, white, blue, black, red, green, like Path of White Magic, Path of Blue Magic. And if you're an Azorius character, you could take both Path of White Magic and Path of Blue Magic. But then we'll also have an Azorius, like Path of the Azorius, as well as Boros, but also Lorehold from Strixhaven. So we'll have 2 white-red themes, one towards the knowledge and ancestral side of things, and the other one towards the righteous and fury side of things. We'll have those 2 different paths. But then beyond that, we also have like the Boros Swiftblade, or like a Boros Banneret, or Boros Charger. Like these are all creature cards that are in like the white-red color identity of Boros, which is very different from the color identity of Lorehold, of white-red Lorehold. But we can build out all of these subclasses with these different creature cards using the colors that they're bound to build out like a Boros Swiftblade would make a great paladin, fighter, ranger, rogue, paladin, even potentially a barbarian, like maybe a bard, but maybe not so much like a cleric. But I could see a cleric going Swiftblade if they wanted to. Sure, why not? There's no reason why they wouldn't be able to, because it's all basically fueled off of action economy and expending mana. So that's how this system works, and with everybody having a mana pool, it all curves together very nicely. But I think we're going. This is very encouraging. I think we're going to end up with just a good array of things that each color does, and we'll be able to build out a shitload of cool little one-pagers, right? So what I'll do is once we start extracting these features and building them into subclasses, I'll make like little one-page PDFs and just start releasing them on my Patreon. And then anyone that's a paying member of the Patreon will have an opportunity to vote on which one do I do next. So the idea would be to do at least one a month. Build out mechanics, drop them into a PDF, paint the PDF with magic, like, making artwork for that page, and then pushing out there. And when we get all of them done, we can like leaf all those single pages together and then bind them into a PDF. And they're being published on my Patreon, so I can't sell them off of the DM. Like, I could publish them on the DMsGuild for like $1, but no one cares. I know for a fact that, like, if I built a Boros Swiftblade in a prestige class or a subclass, no one would give a fuck about it. So I may as well just release them as PDFs, but I can bundle them together into little books. And then I can release the PDFs out as basically fan content on Reddit and stuff. And yeah, so that'll be a side project that we do with my Patreon to encourage people to buy in on that. And if we accumulate enough paying members, then I'll start switching my my Discord playtest channels to paying members first. But I don't have enough paying supporters. But if I build my numbers up there in time, then it'll be paid gets first seats. But I don't have enough momentum there yet. But that's where it's gonna be going. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and cut stream here for the night. I'm gonna be back tomorrow morning to do more Spelljammer ship art. And that's Monday through Fridays in the morning. We do artwork. Mondays, Thursdays, nights like this, we do game design like this. Saturday morning as well, we do playtest game campaigns on my Discord server Saturday afternoon. And then I take Sunday off. I should be publishing a video here in the next couple weeks about initiative order during exploration challenges and how to manage and control a table's activities. I think that'll be a fun, basically like DM tips sort of video that I'll put out. But that's it for now. So anyone that thought this stuff was cool, if you're new to the channel, thanks for being here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. I'm here a lot. I talk about this stuff all the time. Be welcome to join my Discord community down below. And I'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks a lot. Read up. Does not require a spell slot. Brainstorm. Right on, man. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers a lot, guys.